And thanks, Chandler. That was awesome to get that insight. I might want to skip the Q&A because I feel like my part went long, and I don't want to at all cut short Kelvie and Andy looking at the time. So let's just breeze through Q&A for the moment. We'll come back to it after, because I want to make sure that Kelvie, Tyus, IT Director at Search Discovery, and Andy Smelser, Senior Director of People, have plenty of time and opportunity to share their experience using analytics. And so I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to kick it over to Kelvie and Andy, and you guys are ready to take it away.
Sorry, MTS, could you share again? I'll have you go through the first couple slides, and we'll kick it over to Kelvie.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Well, thanks for inviting us here today to share our story. As he said, I'm Andy Smelser. I head up our People Services group here at Search Discovery. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So just a little bit about us. Search Discovery is a data transformation company. So we help other organizations use their data with purpose to drive measurable business impact. So analytics and insights are our forte, and kind of key to what we do to help other companies be successful. So in our process for considering Guru, we use the same approach that we use for our customers. We asked ourselves, what problem are we trying to solve, and what is the return on investment that we should expect? I go to the next slide. So we broke it down into challenges, objectives, and our expected impact. So our challenge was really that it was difficult to find information. We had just data and information just scattered across multiple systems, and there's really just no way to know what was up to date, if it was current, reliable, or who even created it. So our overall objectives were to save time looking for information for our people to serve our clients and do their job, and to improve that consistency and quality of the content that was provided to our people for them to learn, and for how they were serving our clients. We just received, some great news last week that we were named to the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies for the 4th year in a row. And so, as you can imagine, or maybe you're experiencing yourself, there's just a tremendous amount of challenges, that come with that growth cycle. So our expectation, from Guru and partnering with them, was to help reduce the amount of time that it took to onboard, the new employees that we were bringing into the company, reduce the amount of time that it took to ramp up in our clients, and then same as what Chandler was talking about, really to just reduce the response time and information that we had throughout our entire sales cycle. For us, we used a couple of studies to really look at the return on investment and the investment that we would make in Guru. And those studies showed that the average knowledge worker is spending about 30% of their work week searching for information. That's quite a bit. It's like 12 hours each week. So the selling point for us is that we looked at it and said, if we can just save each person 1 hour per week searching for information, Guru would pay for itself twice over. So when you consider that with the other benefits that we were looking for, to get out of the system, just became a very easy decision for us to move forward with Guru. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelvie now, and he's going to talk a little bit more about our implementation and how we measured that return.
Thank you, everyone. MTS, would you go to the next slide, please?
You got it.
So once we decided that we were going to move forward with Guru, Andy and I made it a joint effort between his team and mine, because our internal operational areas really held the majority of information that people would need just for internal operations, for HR, for IT, things like that. So we took all of our information and the various sources that we had scattered all over the place, as well as our executive team, and we moved that information into Guru. We made updates as required, and as soon as possible, we retired our old data repositories. After that was done, we introduced Guru to the organization, and then we tasked our subject matter experts throughout the company to do the same. Would you move to the next slide, please? So for us to get the data that we wanted to measure how we were performing against those expectations that Andy mentioned, we wanted to see what was in Guru and what information in there could help us answer those questions. We looked at the Guru dashboards that come with the tool. We did find them quite helpful. But again, seeing that we are a data transformation company, we wanted to dig a little deeper. So we came up with a fairly straightforward but manual ETL process to take the data out of the Guru dashboards. We used the scheduling feature that he went over, and we had those reports run on a weekly basis. We got them downloaded, and we took that and we transformed it over into a Google Sheet. Once we did those extracts, we were able to find that there was a lot of hidden data there that we could really use. So we loaded that into our visualization tool called Domo, and that helped us gain the insights that we wanted to learn about the data that we had. Since that is such a manual process, we're now beginning to transition that to using Guru's API, and that will keep our dashboard content more current and eliminate the process of us manually manipulating data. You go to the next slide, please. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the dashboard that we came up with internally to really measure the results that we have inside of the system. So would you allow me to share, please?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so this is the Guru dashboard that MTS showed you. He showed you all of the things that come with this. And again, we found this information very, very helpful, and we actually used it to schedule the downloads that we get. After we extracted that data, we moved it into our visualization tool, and we broke the content up into sections to look at different things. As you will see that we measure our content creation and how it changes on a month-over-month basis. The data that I'm showing you now is current as through this past Sunday. So since we're only a little bit halfway through the month, we haven't had much content created this month. But you will see that our adoption rate has been pretty steady over the last 6 months, and we're currently at 95%. One of the stats that we found most significant is just answering the question, do our people find the content useful? How are they using it? And for a company our size, to have 53,000 interactions in the system from the time we launched around this time last year until now, we feel is a pretty significant number. Guru has become a very integral part of our day-to-day operation, and it's really difficult to remember what life was like without it. We also look at who are the top users in the company. If you look at these first five people, those are all people to our internal operations team, either in finance and Andy's people services team or in our IT group. Those are the people that are using the information the most. On the next panel, you'll see we also look at who isn't using the system, and we encourage them to get into it a little bit more and find so they can receive the value that the rest of the organization is getting. You'll also see that our trust score is pretty steady. You'll see this little dip here around February, March, and that is because as we were seeding information, we set our verification cycles to be 6 months for the most part. So you'll see as content started to expire that people had and re-verify their content, and then you'll see how things jumped up and stayed at that steady point from then until now. We also want to look at the trends in our content creation. You'll see these first 4 months is when we spent time seeding the system, loading data into it. And near the end of the year, we got to a steady state. And you'll see we've pretty much held that ever since. We also wanted to look at who specifically is creating the most content in the system. And again, those first 4 names are people that are in our internal operations areas. But what is interesting is that 5th name is the president of our company. So at the highest level of our organization, he's actually putting content into the system. So it shows that it's being adopted at all levels from top to bottom. And the names after that are the people that work most closely with our clients, who have the relevant knowledge that the rest of the company needs to service our customers. You'll also see that our card content has steady risen, and from the time we started last August until now. We continue to have more and more content in the system each month. To answer one of the questions that Andy raised earlier, as far as we wanted to really get to see how this is impacting our ramp up time with new hires. We haven't done a lot of hiring over the last few months, but in the beginning of the year, we had maybe 8 or 9 people on this list. We define new hires as anyone that's been on board 4 months or less. So one of our most recent new hires started about 3 months ago, and you'll see that in that short time, he's already interacted with the system a little over 150 times. So people are finding, as they come into the company, that is your go-to source. Go to Guru and your answers are there. We also measure what cards seem to be the most popular. We look at what's most viewed, but we also look at if someone finds something very, very helpful, are they making it the favorite card? And if they are, how many times is that favorite content being viewed? And that's additional information that we've been able to get out of the system, again, using that card export feature. And we also look at how information is being shared. You see that our most shared card is production deployment instructions, which our engineers use as they are deploying solutions for our customers. What I find particularly interesting about this is, from an IT support perspective, we are able to copy cards and share knowledge and send links to people for some of the more commonly asked IT questions. And as we have done that, we have seen our IT support ticket volume decrease as we have increased the knowledge that we've put in Guru. So I'm going to stop sharing now and ask you to share again, MTS.
MTS, you're on mute now.
Yeah.
Or probably should share my screen too. That'd be helpful. All right, where are we here? All right, I lost the presentation for a second there. Not to worry.
You have Clementine in the meantime.
Yeah, right. And my cluttered desktop. Sorry, you guys had to see that.
I've been disappointed with the lack of Clementine barks. You promised us that she'd be around.
She barked during your part, actually.
Really?
I was muted.
She approved.
She did, yeah. She was good. Okay, so
Okay. Yes, we want to go that.
Present from here.
Okay.
Here we go. Thanks.
So as you saw, we gained some significant insights that helped confirm our return on investment in the system. We're able to see how and who is using the system, who and how people are using the system, who's not using it, and what the most popular knowledge is within the system, and the trends. Again, that new hire usage is something that we were particularly interested in to see if we really were making an impact in that wrap up time. Next slide, please. Again, these were the results. Andy, did you want to speak to this slide?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks, Kelvie. Yeah, so you can see that, everything that Kelvie went through, there's a pretty long list of, exciting insights and data, that we get from the system here. These are just a few of the points that we thought really stood out to us, over the past years we've been using Guru, right? So a 90% plus team adoption every month since we launched. And, when we, as Kelvie said, we moved all of our internal information over right away and then launched Guru. So the 1,000+ cards that have been created over the last, 7 or 8 months have all been by our subject matter experts in the organization. Those people that we were hoping and pushing and encouraging to adopt, this system. As Kelvie said, over 4,000 interactions per month. So for a company our size, that averages to about 33 interactions per person, which is quite amazing. So on average, every person in our company is engaging in Guru every day. So our people are keeping up with all of that content. We've maintained that 90% plus trust score. We talked about our new hires, right, and the significant amount of interactions that they're having in Guru over their first 90 days, right? So they've got this one-stop shop. In addition to support of their peers, in the organization, those questions that they can be hesitant to ask, and information that they need to reference multiple times to feel confident about their contributions to the company is now all at their fingertips, and it's really fantastic. We went outside of Guru a little bit too to try to look at some data and how Guru has had an impact on our people. So, we measure engagement and have multiple breakdowns of categories. In the last 6 months, we've seen a 5% increase in the area of communication among peers and even collaboration among peers, which is pretty remarkable when you consider that, the last 6 months, it's been extremely challenging for, companies across or around the globe, right? With quarantining and being separated, that, having that information at your fingertips and ways to communicate and collaborate with your peers to serve your clients and keep your business moving forward was pretty remarkable for us. And 5% for us is actually quite significant. We're very fortunate to have pretty high engagement scores, across our company. So, something like 5% is really moving the needle, on our end. So all of these data points are just really significant for our company and what it's done for our team. One of the things that's kind of not measured here, I guess, is that Guru has become a pretty critical part of our communication strategy, with our team. So, when you see our president engaged with that, the communication, the keeping our people up to date on the things that are going on and our strategy and the things that we're pushing forward on. We have this, just a new approach where we can put out these, newspaper headlines and just kind of one sentence, catching your attention. And then we bring you into Guru to consume that content and have it there for reference for everyone. So, so that's everything that we wanted to present today. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Thanks again for allowing us to share our story. Happy to answer questions. Otherwise, we'll kick it back over to you.
Awesome. Kelvie and Andy, thanks so much. It's so great to hear about how you've sliced and diced analytics and brought it into Domo, and it looks like you guys have really awesome results, and it's definitely something to feel proud about. So thanks for sharing that insight and sharing your expertise here. We're really grateful for that. We are getting close to being out of time here. And so there were a couple questions that came in from Slido that I'm just going to fast forward to, but don't worry. If you do need to jump off right at 1:45, that's fine. We'll send the recording out with the deck within the next 24 hours. But if you're able to stick around for a few extra minutes, so we won't push it too far past 1:45, but I figured we could at least answer the questions that came in the next few moments. So one question that came in was, how is the Guru API process going? What challenges are you facing with this process? And if I had to guess, that's a question for search discovery. Kelvie or
Yes.
Andy, I didn't know if you guys wanted to chime in there.
Sure. It's actually going quite well. I dedicated a member of my team to actually do that. It was going to be a learning experience for him since he did not have much experience with APIs. And he's been able to work with the Guru support team, who has been excellent and always there for us. And we're just about finished with our transition from the manual Google Sheet process to the APIs. So that's going to be going very well. And we will revise the dashboard that I showed you so the content is loaded from that source instead of a manual Google Sheet.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelvie. So another question that came in here was, is there a way using the native Guru analytics to provide managers with insight on their direct team's performance / utilization of Guru? And yeah, there definitely is. If you're drilling down into the user view, usage by team, you should be able to select the appropriate people that you want to look at what they're doing. And you can, use that as coaching feedback. You can, get some insights for yourself, look at what people are doing great or not so great, and kind of give that feedback there. So I would use the tab. I would use
the user tab.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, I would use the user tab and then start to drill down towards the bottom where it says usage by user or user views. So hopefully we answered that one.
They probably also create a new group just with your direct reports in it, and then you could filter by that group and only see the people that you want, just your direct reports in that same user tab.
Great call, Chandler. So Lindsay, we're gonna follow up with you on this question about plans for identifying SPNR. But Josh had another question here. He said, is there a way to explore number of revisions, length, size, character count of cards as a function of time, or something similar to evaluate top content creators? At this time, I don't think we have anything like that. Although, man, that's awesome feedback for our product team, because I'm sure that would be like really cool insight to be like, hey, these people are doing it well, and you can give some examples and as a model for other folks. But yeah, I don't think we have anything like that that you can dive into for those specific like number of revisions, etc. So appreciate that question, Josh. One, be respectful of time. It's 1:47, and I apologize we didn't have time to kind of go into like an open discussion, but just big thanks to Kelvie and Andy at Search Discovery and Chandler for providing the Guru on Guru piece. If you haven't already signed up for Guru the Gathering or the deep dive, they're there in the chat. And then join the community in Remote-a-thon. So everyone, thanks so much for coming. Look out for the public card with the slide deck and the recording. And as always, hit up the Help Center or Intercom or Guru Academy, or hit us up in the community if you have any further questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.